Hello, fifth graders. Here is the list of words for Unit 8 in the Orange Vocab Unit. Starting with number 1, awkward. It's an adjective that means not skillful or graceful, or hard to handle, or embarrassing. When you first learn to dance, your movements may be awkward. Synonyms include clumsy, bumbling. Antonyms include graceful and skillful. Number 2 is clatter. It's a verb that means to make short, sharp sounds by rattling or banging together. The old trains clatter down the tracks. It can also be a noun that means a hard, rattling sound, or busy excitement, or noisy chattering. The clatter of factory machines can be quite loud. Synonyms for the verb clatter are to rattle or to chatter. Synonyms for the noun are a racket or a commotion. Number 3 is gallant. It's an adjective that means showy in appearance, or brave, or showing courtesy, or very attentive to. The most common use of gallant as an adjective is either brave or showing courtesy. We saw the parade of gallant sailing ships. Of course, that's an example of a sentence that doesn't use the most common form of the adjective. It can also be a noun, and it's usually pronounced differently as a noun. Gallant. It means a fashionable young gentleman or a suitor. The novel's heroine was courted by a wealthy gallant. Synonyms for the adjective include dashing and valiant. Antonyms for the adjective include cowardly, and antonyms for the noun would be a slob. Number 4, lukewarm. It's an adjective that means only moderately warm, not hot but not cold. It can also mean without enthusiasm, like in this sentence. A dull speech is likely to get lukewarm applause. Synonyms are tepid, half-hearted. Antonyms are hot, icy, eager, and enthusiastic. Number 5 is plentiful. It's an adjective that means in great supply, easily available, or more than enough. Flowers are plentiful in springtime. Synonyms include ample, abundant, and bountiful. Antonyms include scarce, rare, or meager. Number 6 is ration. It's a noun that means a portion of food for one meal or one day. It can also mean food or supplies, or a share. A soup kitchen provides rations to the poor. It can also be a verb that means to pass out or give out in limited portions, or to limit the use of. When water is scarce, people must ration it. Synonyms for the noun include an allowance, a share, an allotment, or provisions. Synonyms for the verb are to parcel or to divide. Number 7 is reserve, a verb that means to hold back or set aside, or to save for future use, as in, please reserve a seat for me. It can also be a noun, meaning something set aside for a certain purpose, or something stored for later use. The squirrel dug up its reserve of nuts. Synonyms for the verb include to store, to retain, to stash, and to withhold. Synonyms for the noun: a supply, a stock. Antonyms for the verb would be to splurge, to squander, to waste, or to use. Number 8, scholar. It's a noun that means a learned person or an expert in a field of study, or someone who studies with a teacher, or a student who gets a gift of money to pay for education. The book was written by a respected scholar. In that case, the sentence is using the form of the word that means a learned person or an expert in a field of study. Synonyms include a sage, a professor, an authority, and a pupil. Number 9 is smolder, a verb that means to burn slowly with smoke but no flame. It can also mean to show pent-up feelings. A person may smolder with rage but say nothing. Synonyms include to simmer, to fester, to seethe, to fume, to stew, while antonyms are to blaze or to explode. Number 10 is trudge. It's a verb that means to walk or march slowly and with difficulty or tiredness. At the end of the long day, workers trudge home. It can also be a noun that means a long, tiring walk. If I miss the bus, it's a 2-mile trudge to school. Synonyms for the verb: to plod, to slog, or to tramp. Synonyms for the noun: a hike. Antonyms for the noun, antonyms for the verb: to prance, to race, or to hurry. Number 11 is volunteer. It's a noun that means a person who chooses to join or do a service, or someone who gives time or effort without pay. A volunteer visits a hospital patient. You can also use it as a verb, which means to offer one's services or to do or say freely. Who will volunteer to set the table? Synonyms for the verb, or synonym for the verb: to enlist. Antonyms: an employee or a draftee. Finally, number 12, weary. It's an adjective meaning feeling tired, worn out, or having no more patience. When I have to do a boring task, I become weary. It can also be a verb which means to make tired or to grow tired. A dull speech may weary an audience. Synonyms for the adjective: exhausted, drained, fatigued. Antonyms for the adjective: fresh, lively, energetic. And antonyms for the verb: to enliven or to energize. Thanks for listening.